and welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, March 18th, 2020. I am Investor Boynes with the details. One woman is dead following a vehicular accident about 3:20 p.m. today in the Rolling Hill area on the leeward side of the island. According to reports, a white twin-cab pickup ran off the road onto the property which houses the Little Flower preschool. The pickup reportedly hit the woman who was walking along the road with two children. The children were reportedly taken to the hospital for medical attention. Their condition is not known at this time. We will bring you more on this incident in tomorrow's newscast. There are no new cases of the deadly coronavirus or COVID-19 in SVG. This was reported in a news release issued last evening by the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment. The ministry also reported that after the first confirmed case last Wednesday, several persons have since been tested and were negative. Larissa Pugsley-Kidd tells us more in this report.
The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment said it received from the Caribbean Public Health Agency CARFA lab at 12:55 p.m. on Tuesday the results from the latest batch of COVID-19 tests, all of which were negative. These tests included those conducted on a male passenger from Guyana who arrived in SVG on Liat 771 last Saturday, March 14. The ministry said despite the result, the passenger will remain in quarantine until March 21st, thus completing the required 14 days of quarantine. Last week, Wednesday, the ministry announced that a woman who had traveled to the United Kingdom tested positive for the virus. In its latest report, however, no update was provided on the status of the person. The ministry, however, stated in its report that contacts associated with the island's single COVID-19 confirmed case were tested and all were negative. On Monday, a person seeking medical attention with flu-like symptoms forced a temporary closure of the A&E department at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. The patient was admitted for an assessment and has since tested negative for COVID-19. Commenting on the decision to close the accident and emergency department at a press conference on Tuesday, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said it was necessary and a good move by the health authorities.
I've been advised that the patient concerned was told on the telephone not to come in the evening, but they came the next day. What do you want the hospital authorities to do? They have a choice. Treat it with as per normal, or say this may be a case which is more than an ordinary flu, and possibly the contagion would be greater. So let us clear the place.
Services at the A&E department resumed on Tuesday evening after operating briefly from the Kingstown District Clinic. The visiting hours at the hospital also resumed today. Meantime, the Kingstown District Clinic will now serve as a flu clinic and triage point. The routine district clinic service provided have been temporarily transferred to neighboring districts to facilitate the operations of the Kingstown Flu Clinic. And with more countries reporting community spread of COVID-19, the Ministry of Health has quarantined a group of students, teachers and chaperones who recently returned from Guadeloupe. Household members of these persons have also been advised to voluntarily quarantine themselves. The isolation center identified by the government at AIA is currently being refurbished and is expected to house more than 20 persons. Minister of Finance said they have already put in place how it will be managed and operated.
Isolation center that will be used in the event that we have severe cases of COVID, and that facility will have a floor on upstairs for men, moderate cases and severe cases, and then similarly downstairs for women, a division between moderate and severe cases. And the severe cases will need respirators and intensive care.
In the meantime, the Ministry of Health is advising the public that if someone has traveled to a country where COVID-19 is circulating or have been in contact with someone who has it or is experiencing fever, cough or difficulty breathing, they should seek medical attention immediately and not to self-medicate. They're also asking that persons first call the hotline on telephone number 534-4325. For SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
Some local omnibus operators today expressed concern with the information reaching them as it relates to COVID-19 in SVG. While health officials and officers have been holding a series of educational sessions with various stakeholders on the virus, the omnibus operators say they feel left out even though they are providing a service to hundreds of persons daily. The omnibus operators say while they are doing their part to ensure their personal hygiene is taken care of, the information flow about the virus from the health authorities here is lacking and needs to be improved.
With me, I prepare myself because I get my hand sanitizer, I clean my hand and stuff with. I have my stuff them and my little wipes and thing and, keep myself, body never come and visit me all and say nothing. They should come around and let people know exactly what's going on and taking place.
I've already stocked my stuff up. I've already bought some water, I already bought some hand sanitizer, so I'm good for now. Now all I heard about is on the TV and what I read on the internet.
There is so much concern and such a disease as around. I mean, if the Ministry of Health, if that's their duty, they're supposed to come around to everyone as much as possible, especially van drivers, where a lot of people traveled through and through the country, to inform them what and what not to do. So I believe that they should have, what they should have is that Ministry of Health should have more people in more places where people could get the information more frequent. These on a daily basis, if a ministry anywhere will come here to make sure that there's something that the people will know exactly how they could fight against this disease. And one of the things is not everybody who is sitting down and look at the TV. Maybe it's not everybody who's looking on Facebook. So if we can get some personal information from the authorities, I believe that's what the people wanted. We might be getting some negative information from people. The way they want to think it, how they want to see it. But if the authority come and they could tell the people exactly what.
One suggestion made by the omnibus operators to improve the information flow is to provide them with flyers with key information on the virus, which they can place in their vans so that their passengers can read and become more knowledgeable. There is no major issue as it relates to food supply on the local market. The assurance comes from Executive Director of the SVG Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Anthony Regisford, who spoke with SVG-TV News today after talks with representatives of the major supermarkets about their current stock and their ability to restock. Regisford said he was assured that the stock levels at the supermarkets are normal.
My discussion with them was about their current stock levels and, more importantly, their supply chain, their ability to restock. And as far as their current supply levels are concerned, there's nothing abnormal. Okay? Yes, there's been a bit of a rush on certain items, and we need to slow down with that panic buying, because you create the problem that you are imagining that exists at the moment. You're actually creating it. Okay? But beyond that, they have restocked or are in the process of restocking. Their suppliers have assured them that supplies are normal, and the means of getting the supplies to them, the channels, are also normal. So they have absolutely no major worries at this point in terms of their ability to supply the regular food items that they do.
Many of the supermarkets get their supplies from various wholesalers, and Regisford said he was assured that their stocks also remain normal.
I also spoke to the wholesalers, or at least a sampling of them, and some main ones: Facey Trading, Global Trading, Premium Products, Frank B. Armstrong, to name a few, and some beverage suppliers as well. And they've echoed a similar position as the supermarkets. They have normal stock levels, and they have, more importantly, the ability to restock. Their suppliers have assured them as well that supply quantities are going to remain normal in the foreseeable future. Okay? as you know, supermarkets, back to them, they import some of their stuff directly, and they also buy from these wholesalers.
While many countries have closed their borders in light of the threat of COVID-19, Rajesford said ships are not being prevented from transporting goods.
In the foreseeable future, the shipping agents, the wholesalers, supermarkets, the people that are in the supply chain, and also the port authority here, they're not seeing that as something that's going to happen anytime soon. Okay? This is not a war. It may seem like it, but there's certainly not a blockade of ships, moving from port to port. That's a different scenario altogether. Okay? Ships are not being blown out of the water. Ships are not being prevented from traveling on the high seas. The issue is when they do arrive at port, the handlers, the people who are coming off the ships, the people on the port, human interaction. What are the protocols that need to be followed to minimize, or if not eliminate, the chances of the virus being spread?
As persons here and worldwide take the necessary precautions to protect themselves against the coronavirus, local taxi operators say they have been feeling the crunch. Over the last few weeks, cruise ships have either scaled down or ceased their operations, which is a big blow to the local taxi operators. Our news team caught up with some of these operators today who said while business is slow, they are doing what they can to make a dollar, and at the same time they are taking all the necessary precautions to protect themselves against COVID-19.
Cruise ship season halt definitely been slow, but local people been still moving, but people not coming town like before. People seem to be taking a little precaution. We step up our game. We have sanitizers in our vehicle, disinfectant and so on. So we regular sanitize areas after trips and so on, making it more safe for ourselves and the public in a whole.
Okay. No, well, before even, I just always had these things before even the disease come around. So I always cleaning my vehicle on a daily basis, clean my seat and, so I properly prepared for my customers and things like that.
Cost income in terms of, it's a direct income when we get the visitors, say, on the cruise ship for the taxi men. Because the money that we collect goes straight into the economy. As soon as you get it, you go on the supermarket, gas station, home for the family, and we have missed that. And the taxi men will get a real low blow there. Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting people, you might be able to do cargo. Like all over the world, you see the real impact is the passenger, the people who travel. But they still allow certain things to go in, like cargo, goods, the trucks, and so to pass, you scream the driver, and so forth. So if there's another way that the taxi man could move, whether market the goods or for people, yes, I think it's okay.
Give you a reference then. Just yesterday, I had 5 persons, right? And they are Peace Corps, who was going back to their country, who has to go back because they're calling the people back, and the office call and says they don't want them to ride the van, not in a bad way, but because of all the mixture of people, and you don't know what's going on, and that's what they did. They used the taxi service. So what I would say, the taxis, you could say it's like more 90% more safer using right now because you don't have too much contact. You don't even have to have contact with the driver. You know what I mean?
Members of the Taxi Drivers Association and the Omnibuses Association are invited to attend a discussion with members of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment tomorrow to discuss matters relating to COVID-19. The meeting is slated to take place at the Seventh-day Adventist Church Conference Room at Old Montrose from 10 a.m. In light of the threat of COVID-19, this year's Beckway Easter Regatta activities have been cancelled. The announcement was made in a news release issued today by the Beckway Onshore Activities Management Committee and the Beckway Sailing Club. The organizers say, out of an abundance of caution and wisdom, the decision was made to cancel this year's activities after assessing available information, the community feedback, and discussing the evolving situation with key stakeholders and major sponsors. Apologizing for any inconvenience that the cancellation of the festivities may have caused, the Bequia Onshore Activities Management Committee and the Bequia Sailing Club say they are, however, hoping to host an appropriate event once a state of affairs would allow, and will announce the new event dates when the information is available. 13 local registered nurses are now in the United Kingdom to take up employment after successfully landing contracts to work at various hospitals in the UK. A release from the Agency for Public Information states that initially 22 nurses were scheduled to leave the state. However, due to technical challenges, the remaining 9 nurses will be a part of the second cohort of nurses on this contractual agreement. The nurses prior to being selected were unemployed. The nurses left the state on Monday, March 16th, and Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Sir Louis Straker was on hand to see them off. The API said Sir Louis expressed his passion for this recent initiative and encouraged the young professionals to capitalize on this opportunity. He also urged them to represent this country in an exemplary manner. The successful effort to find employment for nurses in the UK is a collaborative effort of Health Education UK, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the SVG High Commission to London. Chronic kidney disease is a serious medical condition which affects the lives of many worldwide, and persons here with diabetes and hypertension are being urged to pay close attention to their health now more than ever. This month is being observed as Kidney Awareness Month. Throughout the month, many health agencies and organizations are taking the opportunity to share information on kidney disease, and one local entity, Health Solutions Inc., is preparing to host an exhibition under the Kingstown Post Office building to share information with the public and conduct screening exercises. Managing Director of Health Solutions Inc., Pauline Garabedian de Freitas, said persons with diabetes and hypertension, lupus and other conditions are at a high risk of developing kidney disease and should have their kidneys screened regularly.
All of these things play a factor, and you want to be able to catch it early enough and also educate people early enough that if you are diabetic and if you are hypertensive, one or the other or both, you should be getting your kidneys screened. That should be your part of annual physical. I think we preach so much about getting checked out, but sometimes we don't indicate exactly what getting checked out means. And if you are diabetic, if you are hypertensive, kidney screening should be mandatory in your screening. And it's very easy. It's just a blood test and it's a urine test. As simple as that. And that's the primary thing that we start with. First, we look to see if in your urine you have any protein. And then we also look at your electrolyte breakdown. We look at your creatinine and BUN. And then we look at your kidney function as well. And then take it from there.
De Freitas said along with regular kidney screening, a good diet with lots of vegetables and maintaining good blood sugar and pressure levels are key to prevent kidney disease.
You look at your blood sugar levels. We try to tell people between 80 and 120 is the range that we want to see you at the highest, depending on the scale obviously you use. Then as well, there's a nutritional intervention. You want to be able to have a more plant-based diet. That's something that we've been doing here at Health Solutions, is encouraging people to switch more to a plant-based diet rather than a meat, animal-based diet. Studies over and over are proving to us that a plant-based diet helps. We have patients here, we have the Meatless Monday, where Mondays is the meatless day. Then we also have patients in the community who 3 times a week make a conscious effort that their primary meals are coming from a vegetable-based diet, which also will help you from a cardiovascular standpoint, your cholesterol, managing your blood pressure and your blood sugars better. So active lifestyle, healthy diet choices, drink more water, stay away from the sugary drinks, carbonated drinks. All of those stuff will only cause problems down the line.
Rivers are a very important source of water, food production and recreation. With this in mind, the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority is encouraging the public to take care of this valuable resource. Recently, the National Environmental Day Commemoration Committee held a river cleanup exercise and community outreach program in Leyu on the leeward side of mainland St. Vincent. Speaking with our news team on the exercise, Communication and Public Education Officer with the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority, Tony Barrow, said pollution creates a threat to aquatic life as well as humans who rely heavily on river water. She used the opportunity to stress the importance of rivers to life, community development, and the environment.
So our rivers, we know that rivers provides a lot of benefits. They provide drinking water, recreation, they are a defense for flooding. If we look over there, we're noticing that the river is almost encroaching on the property nearby. So we actually want persons to understand most of the issues that they're seeing here is a result of the bad practices of humans. So we actually want them to understand that they have a role to play. And one of the ways for persons to really appreciate the rivers is to understand the benefits that are derived from the river. So this is what we're here in the community of Leyu to just talk to persons, get a feel of how they feel about the river, and also to educate them a bit more about the things that sometimes we can see things and appreciate it, but the rivers is a vital ecosystem for a lot of aquatic animals, and persons might not know that. So we are here to just really to let them know that, to let them understand that, and hopefully that this can cause a change in their behavior or a change in their attitude towards the river.
Also on site was Superintendent of Rivers and Beaches Rodika Tanis, who spoke of the magnitude of garbage and other items which were removed from the river at Leyu during the cleanup exercise.
Beaches Authority recently facilitated a cleanup of the river and the banks along, removing materials, garbage from it. And what we noticed is that a lot of household items were removed, and we want to encourage persons to not pollute the river, to try and keep it clean and to not litter, especially the plastics, because we noted a lot of plastics along with the household items being dumped in the river. And what was good is that we had the help of community persons who came out and assisted with the cleanup. So we are encouraging persons, try to keep your river clean because it's important to your own health and to the wellness of your community.
Tanis said their discussion with members of the community during the outreach exercise revealed some interesting findings. She said every member of a community has a role to play to keep their environment clean.
So mention things like having fines and charges for persons who choose to not dispose of their garbage properly, so that their other community members could understand that polluting the river is serious and it can have implications on their health. Some persons would have said the sedimentation they're noticing along the river and along the river bank, because even when they were younger, they were able to go to the river and have a bath and enjoy it, but now they're not able to do that because it doesn't have the depth, and as well as the pollution. They are afraid of using it, even for their own household purposes. They are afraid of using it because of the contamination that they think might be there. So again, we are encouraging persons to not pollute the river, make use of the opportunities they have to properly dispose of their garbage, and to keep the river clean, keep the plastics out, encourage their children, when they see other community members doing it, to be champions for their own community, and to stand up and say, we do not want our river to be polluted. That is the only way that we're really going to see changes happening within this Leyu community.
Some residents of Leyu shared their thoughts on the pollution activities taking place in and around their community, including at Riverbank.
River used to be in one thing, my brother. Now I can't be in my river and thing. Yeah, so when I come on the beach and thing, I go jump in the river.
Jump off for them.
This bridge here, we jump off for this. Have a good bath and thing now. You can't do it.
Right, and the river would have been a good source of food for the community.
Yeah. I mean, for everybody.
Right, so you take the walk, the national parks and other committees are doing is going to help you, to bring the river back to where it was.
Very clean, man, Yeah.
Right, and you think somebody might be able to create a livelihood from the crayfish and the riverfish?
Why not?
Yeah. Taking national park alone, it the whole community. Put the difference aside. I will think about we environment.
We.
That's what I think.